Hey everybody, thanks for joining me again for another weekly market look ahead for the week of November 26th to November 30th. Last week of trading for November, and then we go into December. Holiday trading pretty much. And again, going forward, just remind you again we are after U.S. Thanksgiving. Typically, markets tend to settle down a little bit. A lot of the big money starts moving to the sidelines, and I would highly recommend you dial back your leverage quite considerably, dial back the frequency at which you trade. Don't be getting in and out constantly 100 times a day. I would look for one, maybe two quality setups for the week and call it a day, because holiday trading is quite interesting. Sometimes it can literally just go straight sideways and do absolutely nothing, and sometimes it can get crazy. And you don't want to really be caught in either of them, to be honest with you. So use caution going forward. And myself, I will be. This will be my last weekly forecast until the new year, and I will be running everything as normal this week again into my regular London Open and maybe even a couple of New York Open sessions. We'll see what happens there. Dave will be in to do his regular sessions as usual, and we'll continue like nothing is different this week. However, this will be the last week of that. Going into December, I might jump on, do a live session here or there. If I see a cool setup that I'd like that could come to fruition, maybe I'll jump on and give you guys kind of the heads up on it. But for the most part, I'm going to be focusing with just my group, and I will be putting commentary out for specific commodity setups going into the new year to watch for, and looking at doing some analysis on a couple of major Forex pairs for next year. That is private to my membership group. If you are interested in looking at it, go on to f45trading.com, get signed up, and you can access all that information. So with that being said, let's jump into it quick here. So this is the week coming up for the news events. We have here, going into Monday, we have some Euro news, and we do have Carney speaking and Draghi speaking on the pound and the euro. So just keep an eye out for that. That's a little bit later on. The cable is coming in. Sorry, the pound dollar. Sorry, let me rephrase that. The pound sterling. Get them right one of these days. Pound sterling is going to be later in the day. So after New York lunch, Carney comes in, and then Draghi gets on and speaks kind of mid-morning, sort of New York Open going into Monday. So if I were you, I would probably want to hold off putting any trades in until after that little merry-go-round happens, or get them all in before that happens, and I would maybe close position. But I definitely wouldn't want to be doing anything during that time, just because the market could be a little volatile for the euro and the pound specifically. So just keep an eye on that. Going into Tuesday, we've got lots of US dollar news. We've got some FOMC members speaking and CB consumer confidence. And the last FOMC speaker is a little bit later in the day, and the first one's coming in fairly early. So just keep an eye on for that. If you're wondering why the markets are starting to bounce a little bit, that would be why. And that's this first one coming in early New York Open time frame. So keep an eye on that one. And then going into Wednesday, lots of tentative news. There's an OPEC meetings, tentative, and then bank stress test results for the pound sterling, and lots other bank things. I probably would stay out of the pound if I were you this week, just because of that, the stress test. Normally it's fine, and normally they actually price them in to the market, but you never know. Just you don't want to be caught on that one, so I would highly recommend you staying out of the cable with any cross pairs, the pound yen, pound Swissy, pound euro, etc. They could get a little unstable if they're doing that, so just keep that in mind. And then Wednesday, we've got some prelim GDP numbers, crude oil inventory numbers, of course, and then later in the day, we have Fed Chair Powell speaking for the U.S., and private capital expenditures for Aussie on Wednesday. Okay. Going into Thursday, we've got, excuse me, Draghi speaking late in the, early London Open on Thursday. So that could cause a little bit of volatility going into Thursday, and then a little bit more pound news. and some medium impact Canadian dollar and US dollar news information, and then another FOMC event coming in late in the day, New York, towards New York close on Thursday. So going to be an interesting day on Thursday. I would just be cautious trading in here early London. I would wait until Draghi gets done talking in order to look at getting into positions from there. So just keep that in mind on Thursday. And then Friday, coming into some more Euro news, some high impact Canadian dollar news, and some more FOMC members talking on Friday. So all in all, pretty heavy news calendar. And I think they're getting just a lot of this stuff out of the way here before the holidays start. So you can probably expect this here for this week, and then it's probably going to start lightening up going into next week. And I'll just advise you to have a look at that yourself going forward into December. And before you do any trades, just make sure you're not getting ahead of a major news impact event before you place a trade, because you never know. So just keep that in mind, and keep this in mind for this week. There's going to be a lot of news events and the different times they are going to be happening. So keep that in mind for your trading. Jumping over the charts quickly, this is a weekly view on the US dollar. Zoom in a little bit. I know there's a lot of action in here for the time being, but just bear with me on that one. We had a pretty big stretch up into here. Price ran above these two equal highs. See this high here? I'll drag this guy up. Relatively equal high, sorry. We had a high here, and then a small interim high that got rejected in here. Price came screaming back down, only to find some support in this area here and bounce at the 95 at the 95.50 level, rejected, and then came up and screamed up into this 97.50 level here to take out all of these stops and liquidity above the market, only to reject, fall off slightly, and then regain some support a little bit lower under the previous week. And now we're basically right about at that high again, coming up into this week here. So as long as we don't see the middle of these candles start to break down, we should start to see price continue to move higher. And I've been mentioning this to you early November, that we were looking for price to run up and to start getting above this old consolidation high up in here. The low end being 97.60, the high end being 98.30, and anywhere in between. It's a big area up in here, but that's going to be my target for the week. And I think they're going to run for it. Now, again, if we are going into holiday trading, so if it doesn't happen this week, I'm going to hold off on the idea of them wanting to come up into here into December. It's probably not going to happen, but I could definitely see them coming running this high one more time for good measure before going into holiday trading. So we'll see how that goes. But we had a nice strong showing in here last week. Price popped up on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, dropped back into Thursday, and then Friday was a nice big bull up candle, and so far we're starting out strong this week. So I would anticipate a little bit of retracement back down this week, early Monday, into Tuesday, and I would look to see if 96.55 level will start holding price and preventing it from going any lower. If we do lose that 96.55 level, then just hang on, because 96.35 could get tagged. And if we see, I don't want to see price go any lower than that. I mean, really 96.25 on the low end would be my line in the sand. If I saw that go any lower than that, then we could see price running down into here, which was my initial thought after this run up on price here, where it rejected and slammed down very, very quickly. We went fairly deep into this old retracement here. Excuse me. And so I was looking to see if price had any willingness to come down here. We didn't, failed, reversed, and started pumping higher. So I just want to bring your attention to this. I drew this up on Thursday London Open when I did a live session. I haven't changed anything since. You can go back to my previous video. It's the last one on the list on our YouTube, and you can see me talking about this. It's exactly what I have here. And look exactly what price did. I didn't trade the markets on Friday. I was very, very busy and I wasn't around, but I called this move to the pip. Price came down and I said, I want to see price rebalance off of 96.20 at the very low. And look what this candle did. It came in right here to 96, I think it was 18. So came down 2 pips below that 96.20 level. If I can get it on the chart here to show you guys. Show me the trend line, but it won't show me the candle. You can see it down in the bottom right-hand corner of my screen. Low came in at 96.19, so by 1 pip it came below that. And look at the beautiful reaction it had off of there. So like to see that. Like to see prices still fairly predictable, even going into holiday trading. And again, I'm looking for continuation to the upside. So look at these 2 equal high, 1, 2, 3 equal highs up here. I believe that's going to be on the menu here shortly. And then we'll see if it wants to have get back up into here one more time, and potentially even run out into that blue area again that I had shaded up there. So that's what I'd like to see. But this week going forward, I would like to see this happen. Price come down to a logical level, and then a nice retracement back up, and we'll see that push. So we'll see what happens here. Looking Monday, Tuesday, maybe getting a low, and just keep in mind that news coming in on the euro, because we'll flip over the euro here in a second. Early Tuesday London Open. You want to wait until that news hits and then get into a trade. So if you do see price mimicking what the US dollar is doing here, running down, you should see the Euro USD running up. And we'll talk about that here in a minute, but wait until Draghi gets off the mic there in order to get into that trade. So that's what we'll wait and see. Now, what we could potentially see if this blue line here doesn't hold price up, and that blue line comes in obviously at 96.55. If that doesn't hold price, then we could see price come all the way down to 96.40. You know what? We'll say 96.35 on the low end. That could be in order, but if we see price go any lower than that, basically these lows right here, I don't want to see price go any lower than that on this retracement. If we do get that deep, if we start trading down to 96.20 here, then I'm not interested, because we could start to make a run below this low here. But I do believe, and you can see how evenly price was distributed through here. Very, very efficient trading. Came back down once, twice for good measure, and nice explosive movement on Friday. So like to see that. Want to see a little bit of a give back here going into Monday's trading, and then Tuesday hopefully finding some support, and then a continuation to take out at least the first target, these 3 equal highs right there, and then we'll see what it wants to do after that. Okay. Euro USD. So if we're looking for higher highs on the US dollar, we should be seeing lower lows on euro. Again, similar setup. We had a big run down here. This price actually differed, or I'm sorry, this is exactly what the US dollar did, where it was making a higher high. Euro USD made that lower low nicely, rejected, came back to a logical area, and so far has reversed. Tried to get back up in here, and it was a failure swing, and then we see that continuation downward. If we look out on the weekly, that again, same area down here that I have shaded in red, where I believe they could be wanting to take price. So I'd like to see them run for this low here this week. Again, if we don't have enough momentum to get below this low here, then they probably won't get all the way down here before the holiday trading. So just keep that in mind. Going in after this week, and even including this week, guys, like I was saying to you earlier, just keep your targets close, your expectations realistic, and your stops tight, because you never know what they could want to do. So if we drill down, we'll go into a 4-hour. On the upside, I like this 114.10 level to offer some sort of resistance. I was saying that back on what day was that now? I believe it was London Open. No, I'm sorry, it was London Open on Tuesday. I wanted to see price come up, and I did not want to see price go much higher, the 114.10 level. But we, as you can see, got up to about just shy of 115 here. Price came in, might have actually hit it on this feed. Let me just double check the number. High comes in, no, I didn't. 114.98. So I missed it by 2 pips on this feed here, anyway. And then price ran all the way down into Wednesday low, came back up, reversed. And, oh, I'm sorry, I'm on a 4-hour here, guys. This was weekly charts, and the highs I was talking about actually was in here this week. So scratch what I just said about this, but a beautiful reaction off this 11500 level. So I think what they've done here is, I mean, you can see how price has really been following away, and this has really been following exactly what the US dollar has been doing, making these higher highs in here. So I do believe it's going to have enough momentum to get down here one more time. Taking out those two equal lows, that would be a great target on this week. But you can see just a nice steady downtrend, nice deep retracement coming up the previous 2 weeks ago, and then last week because of Thanksgiving, I think that's why we're seeing this sort of price action here, not real fluid or smooth, just kind of choppy a little bit. And then what I was talking to you about, sorry, last Tuesday, Wednesday, London Open, that's what it was. I was in here talking and I said I didn't want to see price get much higher than this tiny consolidation area over in here, and you can see price ripped up there once, nice quick spike, and then rejected, and then came back into the failure swing on Friday, and a big down day on Friday. So I hope some of you guys got in on this move on Friday. It was a nice one, nice 90 pip move on Friday. Didn't quite get under these lows here, so I think I'm going to be looking for that for sure for the next target. And I would like to see a little bit of retracement going higher. So we'll see how deep they want to get this. Again, same type of idea as what the US dollar is doing. See if we can get price to move up into this area here, and then a rejection and continuation lower. So 113.65, 113.70 on the high side. If we do see price go above that, just keep in mind it could want to retrace back up to right around 114. We'll call it 11400. Call that an even number. You may want to see a deeper retracement. So if it starts punching through this guy here, I don't want to see it go much past that 11400 area, and I definitely don't want to see it go above these highs. If it starts going above these highs here, then the US dollar is going to start breaking down considerably, and we don't want to be in any short positions, obviously, on the euro if that does happen. So I'm going to be watching this going forward, and we'll see what Draghi does to the market Tuesday London Open at 3 a.m. New York time, and we'll go from there. But again, some nice first profit targets would definitely be underneath those lows right here, and I would, if you can, get a short off and maybe hold it for the week. I mean, that's not ideal. Again, you should be doing some day trades, short-term trades. Get in here and then just kind of a nice 60 pip trade or so lower to take out these lows here and then see what it does. Again, I would only do maybe 1 or 2 trades this week, and especially going into December month. So just keep it light. Pound dollar's been all over the place, as you can see. They're having some issues with Brexit, and as you can see, they're doing some BOE stress tests this week and everything else that I mentioned before. So if I were you, I would stay out of the pound. I wouldn't, I mean, more than likely, I think they're going to run it underneath these lows here because they've just been hovering there and hovering there and hovering there. So what they're probably going to do is something very similar to what they did here, where you see this spike out of the middle of nowhere. Just everyone's going along normally, and just all of a sudden, bam! What did that end up being? It was, I think it was a 140 pip hourly candle that rejected, went all the way back down 140 pips, only to go right back up again and then slowly trade down on Friday of last week. So crazy, the cable. You definitely want to take it easy on this guy here, and I would actually highly recommend you stay out of it. So I'm not even going to do any analysis on it just for that reason. Euro GBP, this guy has been pretty volatile. It's seen some nice fluid price action here, big runs, big retracements, and now we're just kind of in another a run through. You see Friday here offered a bit of a run up and a sell off again to finish lower, and so far it gapped a little bit opening today, a little bit right in here, and you can see price filled that in very quickly. I would imagine if we don't see price trying to get above these highs in here, then more than likely what we're going to see is price. We may not even see price run up above these two highs at all. If we did, I think it would be very brief, very short, and I think it'll retrace again. I think we're going to probably finish up the week somewhere down in around here. As you can see on the daily, it's just kind of been walking up and down. Really filling these price ranges in, so I would expect it to come back down here, and then who knows, it could continue higher from there. You did a good job in this price swing lower here to run out all those, all of these areas in here. So The only thing left that it hasn't taken is above the market, and that's obviously that could be what their objective is, to close off the month. So just keep that in mind. And again, these will directly affect the euro and the pound dollar, euro USD and the pound dollar, respectively. So just keep that in mind. US CAD. This guy's been pretty bullish. We can see here we got a nice bull trend, continuation trend up here. This is my target, 133.50. 133.85 is my target on this. I think they're still going to make a run for it. Definitely these equal highs right here. We had a good chance last week, and I thought they were going to do it, and they just completely rejected it. Ran up one day, closed above it nicely, and fell right off. What was that? Wednesday, Thursday of last week, and then Friday, to close off the week. It finished off decently, but we're still nowhere near these highs again. So honestly, this is kind of another one. I'm a little, not that I'm stumped on. There's not a real clear area. Price did come back down to this area, this tiny 2-day consolidation period in here, and it didn't go as deep as I thought it would have. I thought it would have came down a little bit deeper, and so far that's holding price, but we're starting off bearish to start the week here, and so we're going to have to wait and see what they want to do. There are 2 equal lows under here. They may want to come down and run those quickly before doing any continuation higher, so just keep that in mind. We could just get a real quick run and then a pop if we do see price wanting to go higher on this pair, which if the US dollar does run up, this should drag it with it. So we'll see what happens there, but so far the only thing I really like to see is the euro. I don't see a big setup in this. UJ starting the week off with a nice little pop, came right back up into this consolidation area here. Again, if US dollar climbs higher, this should get dragged along with it, similar to the Canadian dollar. And if that does happen, then I would imagine these 2 equal highs right over here at 114.50 will get run and taken out. But I wouldn't be sitting and taking a long position on this today and holding out till that happens. If you are a yen trader, I would advise a lot of caution. There is some yen news coming up this week, and sorry, I could be wrong on that. I thought I saw one high impact news event on the yen. And so just kind of keep that in mind. But if you are looking to continue this thing higher, I would look at this. I think we'll probably just, if it does retrace off of this, it would probably finish off somewhere in this neighborhood and then run higher, kind of somewhere right around the 113 level. Might come all the way into 112.80, 112.90, but I would imagine this consolidation period here area here would probably offer some sort of support, kind of like a breakout retest sort of strategy, if it doesn't just keep screaming higher from here. But if we do have a decent retracement in the US dollar, if we do see price come down like what I predicted here, down to the 96.55 level, then UJ could see a bit deeper of a retracement, and in which case they may want to run this low right here. So just have that marked on your chart. If you see price really screaming down, oops, put up the wrong price label on there. If you do see price screaming down, they could be running for this 112.65 level. So and I would imagine they'll probably rebalance somewhere right back in this area right here, about the 112.50 level, and then we'll see price push up. But again, that's if we do see a pretty deep decline on the US dollar. It could drag this down with it. I definitely wouldn't be buying it right here, but watch what it does. We'll see if it wants to have any willingness to continue higher off of hitting off the 112, the 113 level. So keep an eye on that one. And that's it for Forex. I just want to talk about crude oil real quick. As you can see, crude oil has just had another smashing day down on Friday. Biggest single day drop again. It's really been putting a lot of those in. Friday came in, started the day out, or sorry, hit the high the day at $54 and finished the day at 50.50 basically, a little bit shy of that, 50.45. So just a huge $4 drop on crude oil. This guy is just getting absolutely hammered here. Actually went a little bit deeper than what I thought it was going to go into. So we'll see how price wants to finish up. But do not be going long on this pair yet. I think there could be some further continuation to the downside. I hope not a lot, but if they do want to keep ripping this down, then I'm thinking these two lows in here could get run, and we could see the price really fall out. But they're doing a lot of squawking with crude oil here coming up. A whole bunch of OPEC meetings coming up, and the big one on December 6th, so we're about 1.5 weeks away from them, and they are talking about decreasing crude oil production, so, and start curbing the supply a little bit, so it should lend a little bit of support on the market, and I would imagine we'll probably start to see price rebound a bit, but there's still, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 trading days before that happens, so anything could happen. They could really smash this down, and look where it's been. The last 9 trading days, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Like 9 trading days ago, we were up at around 58, almost $59. Yeah, it did. It hit a high of the day at $59.35, and since then, in 9 days, it's fallen $9. If you can believe that. So if you go out to a weekly and you say, okay, well, $42 is way down here. What's the how realistic could that be? Well, again, that's another $9 drop potentially in just as many days. So bear that in mind, guys. This thing could keep really hammering traders. Don't be going long yet. I'll let you know when the tide has started to shift, and we'll see this start to reverse. But I would just keep your powder dry on crude oil here going forward for the next little while. Okay, that's all I got to say. Again, like I mentioned at the beginning of this, I apologize. It's a little bit longer than normal. I had a few things to talk about, but going forward, so just to reiterate one last time, this will be my last market review for the year. If I see, and this week, I'll be doing 2, maybe 3 live sessions for the week. I'll probably spend a little bit more time with you if I can during the week, and then more than likely it'll be pre-New York Open sessions, maybe the odd London Open session. We'll see what happens there. But I'll be with you for sure Tuesday, London Open. But the rest of the schedule for the week, I'll update you as I go. And then that'll be it for live trading. And again, all of our members will be getting pre-recorded videos for my commodity analysis going into 2019. So you can look forward to that. And I'll be dropping that kind of 1 per day going into December. What I'll do, and I'll just kind of do a quick introduction video to it, just to kind of give you an idea. And I'll just be kind of pairing different sections of commodities together. And then kind of picking out the front runner of each category, and away you go. So, okay, that's all I got to say. Good luck trading this week, guys. Keep it easy and keep it light. Don't go crazy. And we'll catch up to you there for Tuesday, London Open. Thanks, guys.